Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a specific Uni of Bath related video. For those of you who don't know, if you're new here, I'm going into my final year of doing biochemistry at the University of Bath. So seeing as it was results day recently and so many of you messaged me saying you were coming to Bath in September, yay, or October, I thought I would make this video to answer some frequently asked questions. If you haven't already subscribed and pressed the little bell, go for it. If you want to give this a thumbs up, thank you, and let's get on with the video. Okay, so basically these questions I get asked all year round, which is why I thought I would do a video, but they are so common. Like, the ones I've picked came up time and time again, so I really hope these are helpful. And if you feel like sharing this with a friend who might be going to Bath, go for it as well. Also, if you're just nosy, hi. Also, part two, if you're going to a similar uni to Bath, the one I could think of, for example, would be York, only because I applied to both of those, so I know that they're fairly similar, historical old town, campus uni, etc. Hopefully this could be helpful for you as well. Okie dokie. So, first question I got, which is the most asked question, and I'm just going to kind of answer a couple of the related ones in one go, is about freshers. Now, the number one most asked question was, is the freshers wristband worth it? Because I think it's about £70. And my answer to that is yes. Obviously, it's budget dependent, and if you don't want to spend your money on that, I'm not sitting here and telling you you need to. I found it to be such a good bonding experience with my flat. We went out every night together to all the arena events. It is just such a great opportunity for you all to get together and go and do fun things during the day, and especially in the evening. The themes are good, the acts are normally pretty fun. Chip Shop Boys on the first night, jealous that I can't be there again. We were at the barrier for that. We had a great time. My internal sources tell me that actually the arena lineup this year is going to be the best it's been in a while, so I'm going to go with yes, get the wristband. Second question was, do I get the SU wristband, like the official one, or one from town? Do not buy the town wristband. No one will go. Who wants to go to town when there's so much going on campus? It's a faff. You have 3, maybe 4 years to go into town. Don't do it. If you happen to go to a flat and no one has the wristband and everyone goes to town, I'm sorry, because that is that's a fluke, and I'm sorry that I could not advise you accordingly, but the chance of that happening is so slim. Most people get the SU wristband, stick together, don't go to town. And the final little freshers related one is like, what do I have to make sure I do, and like, what shall I not miss? And like I said before, just try and do as much as you can, even in a small group within your flat, because you will like get to know each other so much during that time, and you will be very thankful for it at the end of the week when you feel like you've made your friends hopefully quicker. That's a good friend making tip as well. So I would say go to the theme nights, they're so much fun. There's like a big range of people who've really made the effort and people who really haven't, so don't stress about your costume. Go to the SU, go to a silent disco if you can, because they're a lot of fun. If you want to go and do the city like campus tour, go for it, but if not, I didn't go, and I just went round with my flat on the arrivals weekend before the main event started. Go to Freshers Fair, so many good deals there. So the next questions are accommodation related. So the first one was, are there any accommodations you don't recommend? And I'd have to say that that's kind of too personal to say. I guess it's based on budget. The only accommodation that I would like put my opinion in on is that Norwood is above the SU, therefore it's noisy. You get free tickets, in fact, to the student nights on Wednesday and Saturday if you live on a certain number of floors, just because you can hear it. For me personally, like, that was a massive turn off, and even above those floors I've been told that you can hear it and you don't get the free tickets. So if that's something that might bother you, I would avoid being there, but if that's the only one in your budget, that's the only one in your budget. Ultimately, it's more based on the people, and you can't pick the people. So next one was, when do you find out about your accommodation? I went and looked for my email, and my email said the 8th of September, so I can only assume that around there. The next question was about finding accommodation for second year in first year, which is very forward thinking of you. They give you like talks and seminars and stuff. The thing I would say is find a group to live with as early as possible and just start looking, and it'll feel really weird, but it's what everyone does. And don't stress, because people were looking for accommodation super late and still managed to find it. For example, me moving from second to third year and deciding not to do a placement, I didn't have accommodation in June up until basically July. I think I like sorted it all out like the second week in July. So don't stress, there will always be something. but I would say get your group together early at the very least. Live in Oldfield because that's where everyone lives, and it's like a lot of fun to be around all your friends. It might be tempting to live in the city and people are like, oh, it's so much easier to get to like campus, but it's not, because the buses get really full by the time they get into town. So like, try and live in Oldfield. It's a lot of fun and it's an experience, you know? And the final accommodation question was about noise, so like how noisy is it, specifically about quads, and that's where I was, so I can mainly talk about that, but I have been in the other ones as well, so I will say in general, it's a bit noisy. Like, it's student accommodation, you are going to hear stuff. Obviously it's noisy between like the corridor and the rooms, I found, especially in quads, as opposed to wall, and one of my smart friends described it to me because they're like built like boxes, so there's technically 2 walls that way and 1 wall with the corridor. So there you go, that's why. But it's nothing that you can't deal with. You come to like agreements with your flat. You're like, hey guys, I have an exam tomorrow, can you be quiet? Or people are quiet anyway, or like you get over it because it's first year. Like, try not to get too high strung about it. Like, I knew I was going to if I didn't tell myself not to. Next question was about town and how often we go to town in first year. I would say you probably go to town to go out, so like once or twice a week on average. And if you're not busy at weekends, I was busy at weekends, but if you don't have a hobby that takes up your weekend time, you might go on like a Saturday or Sunday in the day. So probably like once or twice a week, I'd say. Next question was society recommendations. And these I would have to say go on the SU website for, because they have a list of all the societies. There are so many. Like, think of a thing, there'll be a society for it. There's also a ton of sports teams, and they're all fab. I would highly recommend signing up to like 3, maybe even 4 societies and sports teams together, because you can always like drop them. They're not super expensive to join, especially societies. I think mine is like £5, so that's pretty good. And I just would recommend tasting as much as you can in Freshers Week, going to the stand, talking to people. If there's like performances, go see them. Perfect time to plug the fact that I am in a show in mid-October, and for example, if you want to come and see that, we will have Freshers tickets, so they'll be slightly cheaper than the normal students tickets on one of the nights. Come see the show. If you like the show, join the society. I would just highly recommend doing things like that to get to know what it is you want to do. So keep an eye out for the musical theatre societies, Addams Family, 3 nights, and especially the Freshers night. The next question is about a reading list, and I personally didn't get a reading list, I don't think. I think it's like subject dependent, but don't worry, like if you're supposed to be sent anything, you will. All I can say is like, don't stress too much about it, because most people kind of forget over the long summer. It's no big deal. Next question is it expensive once you live off campus? And I would say no, I don't think it's any more expensive off campus than it is on campus, because supermarkets are cheaper, the cafes and stuff are cheaper, you can make your food like at home as well and bring it up. Yes, you have to buy a bus pass, so that could be deemed expensive, but in general I also think rent's not crazy more expensive. Mine was a lot less in second year than it was in first year, but my rent in final year is a lot more than it was, or maybe it's not a lot more, but it is definitely more than it was in first year just because of the house I'm in. So I don't think it's more expensive, no. How many days a week do you have lectures? 5 days a week. There's very rarely, sometimes you don't have a day, and sometimes you only have like an hour a day, but I go to campus at least every day of the week. How big are the lectures? Now this is obviously subject dependent. I can tell you for my course, you either have like 200 people in a massive lecture theatre, because it has crossover with like psychology if it's a neuro module, and biology and molecular and cellular and biomed, and then it's massive. Or it's like just the biochem people, so it's supposed to be about 100, but I think they maybe get smaller rooms because not everyone always turns up. So it kind of depends. Lecture theatres, like the massive ones, seat so many people. They're massive, like Chancellor's Building and East Building, massive, and then as you like specialise and less people are on the module, you get like little rooms. What is winter like at Bath? Cold. But the markets are very pretty. What are the nights out like? I get this question so much from people, and I would say it honestly depends on what you're used to or what you're expecting. It's not Newcastle, it's not London, it's not Leeds, but like, it's not bad, and I think people complain about it quite a lot. Ultimately, it's about your company more than anything else. You'll find like a night that you specifically like and you'll go there the most. I would say it's not awful. Like, there's multiple places to go every night of the week except like Sunday. There's loads of pubs, there's loads of bars, so many cocktail places, like there's plenty to do, and you just find the ones you like. And Bristol's really close. People go out in Bristol as well, so you just hop on a train. It's like 15 minutes or something on the train. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions or I didn't answer yours, please put it below. I would be happy to answer it there. I hope that this helped you out a bit, and if you have any requests, let me know. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.